All right, let's pick up where we left off. He says, oh no, I can do it. Him and the best man run out the door and they leave. All right. The bride and the ladies come and I put them in a separate room and I'm keeping the nerves at bay. Everybody seems to be happy, but I'm noticing still that sister and that mom just are not chipper and excited for the bride like I thought they would be. Well, needless to say, I got a groom now at an ATM machine. I got a bride who, again, is oblivious to everything. I got a sister and a mom who seem like their attitudes are kind of spiking. And I got a church facilitator waiting on her money who says we cannot start the ceremony until he gets back. Woo. All righty. Let's get into this story for real. The groom comes back, but the ceremony is now 30 minutes late because the ATM machine was not just down the street. He had to go a little ways to get the ATM machine because guess what? He didn't want to pay a fee. Anyways, the smoke machines, remember those? We get those going and the bride walks down the aisle with her mother who looked absolutely beautiful. The ceremony goes on without any issues. So I go to the shuttle just to kind of give him an update as to what's going on. And he lets me know, oh, he's in overtime now and he's going to need an additional payment. Y'all stop playing with me. We already are discovering that these people do not have money to pay these final bills. And you need some more money? Where am I going to get this from? I was like, okay. I says, what are my options at this point? He says, you got two of them. I could pay him the money or he's leaving. Ceremony's over. The couple is happy. Guests are filing out, about to head over to the reception venue, which is about 20 minutes away from the church. I pulled the groom to the side. I says, hey, if you got any more money from that ATM machine, I'm going to need it or you all are going to lose that shuttle. The bride and the groom decided to say, tell the shuttle to go on ahead. They didn't have any more money to pay him. They would jump in other people's cars and get to the reception venue. I'm like, okay, this is not working out exactly how we planned, but they're going to make it to the reception, right? No problems. I am now ready to head to the reception. We packed up all of the things at the church. I leave before they actually depart and head over to the reception. They meaning the couple, their parents, and the wedding party. All right. I get to the reception venue. And when I tell you the foyer was full of people, I couldn't understand why there were so many people in the foyer. And I knew many of these people had come from our ceremony. Just didn't make sense to me. So I go to pull on the doors to go into the ballroom. And guess what? Come here. The ballroom doors were locked. So I'm pulling on the ballroom doors and they're not opening. And I've got like 100 and something people in this foyer waiting to go into this ballroom in less than 1 minute at this point. So I call my assistant. I'm like, hey, what the heck is going on? She comes out of another door and pulls me inside. That is where I am greeted by the venue manager, who lets me know that they are not opening these doors until they receive their final payment. I'm about to pass out. It's 100 and some people in the hall and you're telling me they can't come in because you don't have the final payment. And he's like, yes, Desiree, that is absolutely correct. All right. We got a big issue now. And I got to go into negotiating, maneuvering, talking sweet, whatever I got to do to get these doors open. So I sat down with them very quickly. I said, sir, how about this? I have a lot of people in the foyer. Can we at least let them in? Yes, you are owed a balance. It's not a hefty balance, but yes, you are owed a balance. How about you don't open the bars, you just pass out the hors d'oeuvres and allow the guests to at least sit down? Because some of this has been paid for. Actually, probably about 75% of this reception has been paid for. So can we at least do that to get all of these people out of the foyer so that once the couple arrive, we can have this conversation? He's like, okay, Desiree, I can do that. So we open up the ballroom doors and the guests come in. They are seated. Their hors d'oeuvres are being passed around. But again, no bar. Okay. So here comes the wedding party, oblivious to anything that is going on. And once the new couple, the newlyweds, come into the facility, I pull them to the side and I'm like, hey, we got a big issue. The final balance was not paid, and this venue manager is pretty upset and is really not going to allow this reception to take place until you all have a discussion with him. So I take them into the office to have this conversation, and me and my assistants, we go deal with the wedding party, help them get all their things into the bridal suite, line them up, all of those things. I'm sure this discussion is not going to take long because they're going to pay off this bill. Yeah, I wasn't thinking correctly, because the bride comes out of the office and she asks me to go get the card box. I go into the ballroom, I grab the card box, I bring it, and I hand it over to the bride. She goes into the office where they are in there for a few moments, and then she comes out and she begins to have a conversation with me. The conversation went as follows. They don't have the money to pay the final bill. And mom is not going to pay any more money on this wedding. So they want to contact grandma, who was unable to make it, to see if she can wire some money. Yeah, I'm saying this. This is true. To see if grandma can wire some money. Okay. Grandma is able to wire some money, but it is not all of the money that they need. So the couple has decided that during the cocktail hour, without cocktails, during the cocktail hour, they are going to leave their reception, head home to get some money from their home, and come back in time enough for the introductions. I don't know whose bright idea this was, but they thought that this could happen. I'm like, okay, I will try to pacify the guests as long as I can. DJ play some good music, all of those things. The groom is talking to his guys. Me and the bride are in the hallway talking. The next thing that happened is absolutely ridiculous. Please, come here. Let me tell you, it is ridiculous. I'm standing there talking to the bride. And here comes a beautiful woman in a purple gown. She's not walking. She's running towards me and the bride. And when I tell you that woman swung on the bride, I jumped back and screamed. Yes, the maid of honor, the sister of the bride, has now just hit the bride in the face. And the bride in her ballroom gown has now hit the floor. I'm like, what the... To make a long story short, remember I was telling you that the mom and the sister did not seem happy? Well, sometime that morning, the bride disrespected her mother, and she continuously kept saying nasty things or being disrespectful to the mother, and the sister had just had it. I also learned that once I left the church to head over to the reception to make sure everything was good, is that they had words at the church and the sister was over it. So the mom and the sister were in the car. And when they saw me talking to the bride is when the sister jumped out of the car and ran into the reception location and swung, like connected for real, while I'm standing there. I'm like, this is insane. The mother now comes in and she is trying to stop these two from fighting in front of their wedding party, in front of the facilitator at the venue. It was a hot mess. And in the process of all of this going on pretty much in front of me, I got cut. Now, y'all already know I'm pissed at this point. I done got cut. I have been injured at a wedding. Oh, I'm ready to go. I done stepped out of Desiree mode. I done stepped out of Dejanay Events wedding planner mode. I am now Des from Akron, Ohio, and I'm ready to join this fight because y'all have now connected with me unnecessarily. So in this process, the venue manager comes out the office. The groom comes out of the office. He takes his wife. The venue manager takes the sister and the mom into the office, and my assistant takes me into another office because at this point, I am no longer professional. I'm going off. Let me tell you again, I'm going off. In all of this taking place, there are 100 and something guests in a ballroom with no drinks, just appetizers. Let me speed this thing up. Yes, a fight happened between the bride and the maid of honor. All right. Desiree was injured. And guess what? I was out of there. I'm not staying. My contract has an abuse clause in it. Trust and believe. I'm not going to throw no blows and mess up my name, but I'm also not about to stay there and be abused either. Anywho, the couple ended up heading back home to retrieve some monies so that they could pay off the reception. Grandma signed a promissory note saying that she would give her portion that Monday. And the mom and the sister, along with several family members, ended up leaving the reception due to all of the commotion and disrespect that took place. Let me say this. I learned that the daughter, the bride, had actually been disrespecting her mother that entire week. She was acting like she was entitled and she wanted all of these glamorous things that she could not afford. Mom told her, this is how much money I have. The daughter just felt that the mom should pay for what she wanted. Mom showed differently, said, hey, this is what I got. This is what I paid. The rest of this is on you. Daughter became very upset and agitated, and she really took that out on her mom on Saturday. And sister was just defending their mom. I don't agree with fighting. I don't agree with fighting at a wedding for sure. But listen, you disrespect my mama, I actually might have done the same. Until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching The Wedding Tea.